What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm CF, the plumbing sales coach. That might have been a slow start. Welcome. Tonight's our big drawing giveaway. Normally, I have announcements to go out. We were not. I don't know if those actually went out tonight. I think the program that's doing that is down, much bigger than our company. Just they're down. They have a big outage, and that's how it works with live, and that's what we deal with. So we're okay with that. Welcome to the show. Hope you're watching tonight. Where are you watching from? Who are you watching with? And what do you do? Are you a plumber? Are you a plumbing owner? Are you a CSR? Are you a service manager, general manager? Where are you at? What city, what state? We'd love to know. And what company do you represent? Or are you totally in a different industry? That's okay. Let us know. We'd still like to know. Everyone could be a winner on this show. And so let us know where you're watching from. Pastor Randall Gilmore says, hi, live. Hello, Chris. How you doing? And Jill, all the way from Orangeville, Canada. Good to see you as well. Watching the show. Good tunes to dance around the kitchen too. She says that's hilarious. Love the Ballers shirt. My boy says good. Welcome to the show, Robert Avila. A lot of you are just now jumping on. We'll give you guys a few minutes to jump on here. While we do, let's get some house cleaning out of the way. For those that listen to the podcast, welcome to the show. It's always great to talk to you guys from all over the world. Over 21,000 downloads. This show is now sponsored by Skyboss. Skyboss is the king of service and software, and something to check out if you guys don't have software in place. For those that are just jumping on, welcome to the show. Comment of the night, as always, is the way to get into our drawing. Now, we're doing our drawing tonight. Now, every show, we enter two people into the drawing. And on Thursdays, which is tonight, it's Thursday, we do a drawing for a $25 Visa gift card. The winner of that gift card, again, tonight, also gets entered into a bigger drawing that's a couple weeks away for a $200 gift card. You heard that right, $200 gift card. So if you're doing the math correctly, if you're the comment of the night, you have a chance to win $225. All right, pretty cool stuff. We like to give stuff away. For those listening to the podcast, that is some little bit of encouragement to maybe catch the show live. Speaking of which, we always go live on Facebook. You know that. We send out a message through Messenger to alert you and let you know when the show's going live. We did not send that message out tonight. I don't think so anyways. Maybe it finally went out. But Facebook's having some issues. ManyChat's having some issues. But I believe we're also live over on YouTube. That's right. We finally did it. We've gone live. We are currently live on YouTube. And I believe we can see the comments from YouTube as well. And so anybody on YouTube, maybe not, we're not sure, try it out, test it out. But for those that watch on YouTube, you guys can also partake in the comment of the night. So anyways, welcome to everyone. Josh Eisnagel says, so fresh. Brittany Bryan says, hello. Plumber from Plums Up in Canada. Welcome to the show again. Going to have a little bit of a lower attendance here probably for the first 5 or 10 minutes. Everybody realizes we went live. Again, we're also doing the drawing and the giveaway. If you're just now subscribing to the show, you've never subscribed to the show, you want to subscribe to the show, simply type subscribe into the comments. You'll get an alert every time we go live, except for tonight, because again, ManyChat's broke. So she says, I received it. That's helpful. Yeah, okay, I guess the message is just finally going out. That's good. I did not get it on our little test thing, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? That happens. And we're talking about things that can go wrong tonight, because tonight we're going to talk about quality versus quantity, especially as it relates to the business of plumbing. But we're also taking a look at this from the aspect of how it relates to business in general, how it relates to the practice of revenue, and one of the major strategies that some of the best brands on the planet have implemented in order to build their wealth and their empire. And we're going to take a look at exactly how they did that and what the advantages are of doing it. In fact, if you're in my coaching programs, if you're one of the companies that I work with on a one-on-one basis, or if you're just one of the companies that I teach your techs, or we do the automated program where we're training your techs on a regular basis, no matter what it is, I'm teaching the idea of quality. Really believe firmly in the idea of quality. In fact, it's so much so that's why I like In-N-Out Burger over Whataburger. I mean, it just simply comes down to quality. So there's that. I just slid that in there. You see what I did? More people jumping on here. Barry White says subscribe. Good to see you. Now, look, tonight, for those, I'll repeat this just a couple more times because of the announcement issues. We are doing the drawing tonight. We are doing the giveaway tonight. That is for the Visa gift card. Again, the winner of tonight's Visa gift card, you'll get a Visa gift card, and then you also get entered into a couple weeks from now the main drawing for a couple $100 a Visa gift card. Yeah, 2 weeks away, I think. 2.5 weeks away, 2.3 weeks away, I think, roughly, something like that. 2.57. So, all right. So, comment of the night. Basically, comment of the night is just somebody that adds value to the show, asks a great question about business, plumbing, something that relates to what we're talking about and enhances the show. All right. So, let's get this party started. Tonight, we're talking about quality versus quantity. And when you think about it, I almost pulled up as a plane, I think, just buzzed our studio. We almost pulled up, and as you guys know, it's a green screen behind me here in the studio. But we almost put us at the LAX airport, which would have been perfect with that buzz over. But we almost put ourselves at the LAX airport because of this idea of how planes operate and how they understand the idea of quantity versus quality. In fact, you can take a look at both strategies within one plane, and it's so interesting when you start looking at first class and coach in regards to what you get and what you really get and what you pay versus what is being offered to you and how it's being offered to you. And all of us, a lot of people have, in fact, I know a lot of people have never flown first class, but those that have flown first class, you understand there's some upgrades there, a little more comfort in the seat. There's a little bit more of a benefit when it comes to service. There's a little bit more of a focus on you. And there's a little bit more of just they just literally all around you get the extras. However, you're on a plane. Like, how many extras can you get? You still get to the next airport at the same time. You don't get there any faster. You might be able to get on the plane sooner and get off the plane sooner, but you really still have to wait for your luggage. You still have to do the things that everyone has to do when it comes to arriving at your destination. It's the same. So it doesn't really speed things up. There's no convenience factor in that kind of a way. So let's take a look at that versus how some other industries have done it when it comes to things like manufacturing, handmade versus off the assembly line, made here in America versus made over in China. And if you're in another country, maybe your country has something that's made there in that country that's high quality. But when it comes to having things mass produced, it becomes a quantity versus quality issue. And in the same way, when we schedule our dispatch boards in regards to plumbing and plumbing service, we can make this big mistake of quantity versus quality. We overbook our board, we overbook our schedule, and we want to get this result of customer satisfaction and customers being taken care of. We want to get the result of making more money per ticket or maybe more money per call. And we want to have this result of the technician going out there and doing that. But at the same time, we stack so many calls on the board, we plan for failure instead of success, which then it literally puts a cap. It puts a squeeze. It puts a chokehold. It's a bottleneck is what they would call in business on the ability to be successful. And it's such a major mistake that I see. It's an avoidable mistake too. It's interesting that, think about, this is going to be weird. You think about reptiles and how they grow to the size of their captivity. To basically the environment that you put them in will alter or will change the outcome, so to speak, of how big or small that particular reptile is. And in the same way, when you talk about the growth of an individual, the culture, the environment that you build around them will will allow them to either grow more or bigger, or it will limit. It will put a squeeze. It'll put a chokehold on their ability to grow. I mean, this is not really anything you can, like, it's common sense. Like, if you just think about it, it's common sense. And we don't realize that not only, a lot of owners that I talk to, they go, well, I love my guys. I treat my guys great. I'm like, okay, great. I buy them lunch. I do this. I do that. And I'm like, okay, great. And then I look at their board and they're running 6 calls a day. Like, man, my guys won't produce. Like, well, what if they did? What would that look like? And how could they? Well, if they sold this, we'd schedule it for 3 days from now. I mean, that customer's not going to wait 3 days. I mean, I know they say they will. You got to do the work right now. So basically, you got to be able to go into the home and spend more than 5 minutes diagnosing. You got to be able to take 15, 20, 30 minutes sometimes. Sometimes, believe it or not, an hour Now, that's not the norm, but 15, 30 minutes on the norm. Diagnosing, building a relationship, understanding what's going on in the home, taking the time, aging the meat, so to speak, when you think about it with a fine steakhouse. You can stack tons of steak in a freezer. You can only fit so many steaks inside of a dry room that's aging that steak, and therefore they're more expensive. It takes more time. It's quality. Same with the way that we diagnose the home. Could you imagine if I went to the doctor and they're like, "Hey, go ahead and sit down." Okay, cool. So I woke up. Okay, cool. That's awesome. You woke up. What's going on? What's wrong with you? Like, well, I woke up and I was feeling nauseous. So you're nauseous. What else? You got chills. You feeling like they start smacking you around. You're like, whoa, what's going on here? Get to the point. And you're like, no, it wouldn't work like that. It wouldn't work like that. It wouldn't work. They wouldn't really fully be able to diagnose you. They wouldn't really know what's going on. They wouldn't know the history of the patient. And you got to know the history of the home. You got to ask questions. You got to understand what else has been done there. Look, plumbing is no joke, man. This ain't no like little kid toy that we're putting together that the next dad can just come along and buy at the yard sale and fix it. This is a plumbing system. It's complicated. It's pressurized, a living, breathing system, so to speak, that's constantly failing. It's deteriorating every single moment of every single day, at a slow speed or at a fast speed. Either way, it's not getting better. It's not improving. It's not self-fixing itself. It's not a self-help book. Look, the reality is that plumbing is something that has to be treated with respect, and you've got to do the due diligence and treat it. Do the due diligence and treat it with quality. You've got to take a look at this thing and analyze it from a state of point of like, okay, I've got to understand what the customer's going through so I know what they're after. I've got to take a look at the plumbing to know why it's happening, and that takes some time. And then what happens if we find a bigger issue? Because I'd argue right now that on average, across America, across Canada, there's a few $1,000s worth of plumbing that needs to be done in every single home, whether it be new water lines, whether it be repipes, especially. And I've been saying that for the last 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, whatever. It's not probably 6 years. Consistently, literally saying that nonstop. But the reality is that number's probably gone up as galvanized ages out completely, as cast iron starts to age out completely, as clay's tile, as all these different things start to age out completely. We're seeing cement lines in the Northwest age out. We're seeing cast iron in the Midwest age out. We're seeing all these different old school items, these older materials age out. And so those numbers are going to go up because repipes aren't cheap. It's not really, what's really not cheap though? Repipes after water damage. Yeah. So like if someone's going to have to repipe their water lines anyways, why would they want to do it after it destroys everything? Wouldn't you want to do it before? Wouldn't that be the most logical thing? Of course it would be. What's cost say? There's normally more issues at hand than the issue the customer is having you out there for at the time. It's absolutely right. It'd be like me going and traveling to, me and my wife like to travel. Me and just travel. You guys know I just stopped in Vegas a couple weeks ago with one of my guys that works for me here at the office, one of our team members. It was his birthday the week before. He'd never been to Vegas, so we took him out there. And when you think about going to a place like that and all the quality and all these different things, and that point cost was just making of being out there. We go to restaurants we've never been to. Could you imagine going and sitting down and be like, what would you like to eat? And I'm like, well, I want no menu. What would you like to eat? Well, can I get the ribs? We don't have ribs here. Oh, okay. Well, can I get the steak? Well, which one? What kinds do you have? Well, which one do you want? That's how we run these calls sometimes. Like it's so crazy to me. We walk in there and we go, what's going on here? What's the problem? She's like, well, my toilet won't stop running. Okay, well, what would you like us to do? Well, could you fix it? Could you replace that part? Sure. She doesn't want to replace the toilet. She just wants to replace the part. What? That's not what just happened there. God says my birthday's next month. Jill says, question, I'm a very social person. I will talk to a fly on the wall when I come across a customer that's very to the point. I struggle. What suggestions do you have for that? Every personality type is different, and you have to understand who you're talking to, and you still need to be yourself, but at the same time, you need to respect what they value. And so, if there's someone that's to the point, I get to the point. For example, let's say someone calls me in, and they go, "My water, my whatever's leaking. Let's use a faucet. My faucet's leaking." And the guy goes, "Yeah, so what's going on here?" Now I might, want to take the time to explain the Hoover Dam and how a cartridge works and how it works like the Hoover Dam, but sometimes it leaks and really it's like a mini dam and PRVs are really the Hoover Dam and blah 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 blah. I might want to explain that to somebody normally like Mrs. Jones or whatever, but this guy right here go, "Look, the high water pressure is causing this thing to wear abnormally, and so it's causing it to leak." Straight to the point. That's what he wants. Then I might try to build a relationship with him, because here's what really happens. I try to build a relationship with this guy at the front door somewhere along the way, because I'm just being me or you're just being you, and then he's kind of shutting us down or she's shutting us down, and so we go straight to the problem. We go, "Okay, well, what concerned you the most?" And they're really to the point. You know what? I'm going to be to the point as I diagnose. We'll build a relationship, because that's just who you are. That's just who I am. For those out there that actually aren't good at building relationships, you're the ones that would struggle a little bit more with this customer than that person that's really good at building relationships. Just don't press so hard. It's okay. Let them do their thing. That would be my suggestion there. That would be my suggestion there. I went golfing today. For those real quick, talk about quantity versus quality. Um, So I'm a quantity golfer. At one point, they came out and said we have to charge you for another 9 holes. You've taken more strokes than most people would on 18 holes, and so 133, 133 times I swung that club today. It's like I golfed the whole entire tour tournament in one day, in one shot, and it wore me down. And so there's that. That's reality. It's real talk. And that was not a. That was just a regular 18 holes. Keeping it real. I'm not a golfer. God did not make me to be a golfer. But what he did is he made me excitedly passionate about what we do here. Now, we're getting ready to do this drawing here a little bit, and we kind of let the viewers down. I don't know how well that. I think the message only went out to not that many people. It is what it is, but we are doing that drawing tonight, so we're going to have a slower count tonight. You have more of an opportunity to win. We are doing the $25 gift card, in which right now we have a Brandon Graham in the drawing and a Jody Enright from Skyboss. She donates her spot typically, so you guys have a chance to win hers if she wins. Also doing some gear. For those that know, we just got our new gear in. Got the hat right here. How's that in the shot? Is that in the shot? With the word "fresh" on the back, keeping it gangsta. We got this one right here for the ladies out there. We got this one right here. All right, we like that. We got that. That's right. We got gear for the ladies, because we know this is not just a guy's trade. And then, bam, same hat, but the back is different. It says "always be serving." I think we'll give away a shirt or a hat tonight with the gift card. So, all right, how do we do this? Obviously, you're doing it for the exercise. Cos says he's talking about me golfing. If I was doing it for the exercise, I would have nailed it, because when I was doing it, I'm going to be honest. When I golf, it's more about a couple things. Scavenger hunts. A lot of times it's about scavenger hunts without any clues. So got to find golf balls. A lot of times I find golf balls that weren't my golf ball, but now they're my golf ball, kind of thing. I'm gonna play off this one. This is about where I think I should have hit it. It's where I would have put it if I was the air. So all right. So is that? This is how I golf. I mean, it's just bowling. I'm a better bowler. I'm a good bowler. Not a lot of that's not an endurance sport, and so I can do that. If it's an endurance sport, I'm not good at it. That's what I like. I like 1 or 2 calls a day as when being a technician out in the field, only because, quite honestly, I get tired. There's a lot of steps usually when you walk up to doors and stuff. So the less of those I got to do, and usually I try to fix problems on the main floor only. So if you have problems on the second floor and you call me out to your house, I'm just joking. Seriously. Hey, look, in all seriousness, we talk about quantity versus quality. And when you think about running these calls, really it does need to be that 1 or 2 calls a day. If you're really converting on these calls and you're finding the real hidden problems, maybe the customer doesn't have the money to spend, and that's okay. We're going to give them options. In fact, I think we talk about that in our training over and over and over, and we talk about the idea of three. And that's so important because you have to understand the power of that. You have to understand how customers having options, it comes down to budget. If you build the value and you educate them the correct way. And so when it comes down to budget, they can make an informed decision. And it's okay if they just want to make the minor repair. That's okay. That's not a bad thing. What's a bad thing is assuming they just want to make the minor repair, or forcing them to just make the minor repair, or assuming they want to do the big investment, or forcing them to do the big investment. That would be tyrannical. Is that the word? Tyrannical sales. That would be where you're basically forcing them to do your will. And that's not what it's about. Service sales really is a serviceman back in the day. You'd be a service. You'd be someone who provides service to an individual. You'd educate, you'd inform, you'd be the one that knew about the product or service, and they would be the one that wanted the product or service, and the two of you would meet on some sort of foundational platform called the building you were in, and then you would sell them something simply because you were helping them make a purchase. And that's turned into a bad thing because a lot of people have figured out that there's some tricks and tips that'll get people to do things that they wouldn't do under normal circumstances, called pressure sales or closing tactics. And we see that all throughout the world, all throughout, in fact, even our own industry, it's being taught. But that's not what we're about here. What we're about here is the idea of helping someone back like it was the 50s or 60s, where we're literally providing service, where we're providing some sort of experience for them that gives them this ability to make a good decision. And a lot of times when people have the money, they will spend it because they don't want their plumbing to fail on them. They want a more improved system. They understand that the products and technology and all the things that are being offered today in 2020 are different from 1993 when their home was built, or 1986 when their home was built, or 1927 when their home was built. And so don't be so foolish to think that people don't want the new stuff. If you don't think they want the new stuff, then tell me why Apple does so well every single year. Every single year they come out with a new phone. Samsung, every single year they come out with a new phone and people buy it. How do I know that? Because I'm one of those people. I go swap my phone lines around, so I can get upgrades before they're supposed to be upgrades. And all of a sudden we just start trickling phones down. And that's just how it works because I got 8 kids and I can do that. But whatever, that's for another story, another time. Bottom line is this. It's always going to be quality. That's always going to be the thing. If you think that you can charge the prices that somebody who's running 1 or 2 calls a day and actually providing that service that the customer deserves, and you're still trying to charge those high prices, no, you're foolish. You need to get in the price wars game. That's the Walmart game or the Kmart game. And then you better be the lowest price. And that kind of sucks. In fact, it doesn't just kind of suck. It's a horrible idea for plumbing especially. No, what you want to do is you want to take that elite game, that service game, that one at a time game where you go in there and you give the customer an experience of a lifetime. And that's how they can basically make an informed decision to allow you then to raise those ticket averages to a place to where you guys see the success you really want to see. All right, let's get into this. You sell yourself when you're educated and informed of what you really want or need. I'm a great bowler and golfer on the Wii. Says that can be exhausting. Yeah, he says, I've seen you golf. What a great example of quantity versus quality. Thanks, 7.5. That's how many strokes I average on a par 3, I guess, today. Obviously, you're doing it for the exercise. Subscribe, Jeff Taylor. That should be a comment of the night. Crazy boat is a good thing. We got over 300 subscribers. Really missed the boat tonight, I think, on getting those messages out. Mirror them. Tom says, mine is on the 12th. Okay, he's talking about birthdays. Everybody's now wanting free trips to Vegas. This has gotten out of hand. All right, what are we doing for comment of the night? We got any comments of the night? We got a couple of the night. Let's show the wheel real quick, too. Show them the wheel. Show them the wheel. Speaking of quantity versus quality, you guys think about the shirt tonight. You guys like it? Shirt was expensive. It's like literally one of those shirts that's handmade. And my wife made me get it. And she said, you should get it. So we did get it. And then they told me the price. And then I was like, oh, yeah, do you do military discount? And they said, we don't do any discounts at all. 0. And I was like, well, you have options? So here we go. There's the wheel. Got the mystery names up there. All right. So let's get the comment of the night. What do we got? We got one up there. I'm actually not going to be able to see it. Josh Eisnagel. Josh Eisnagel has just gotten himself comment of the night. What was the comment? Because I'm taking some of your tips into the electrical industry. That is a good comment. That's a comment of the night. You get into the drawing, Mr. Icenoggle. You are now one of the three people in the drawing. We need to get one more into the drawing. I'm taking some of your tips in the electrical industry. Thank you. Josh, hit me up if you really are going into the electrical industry. I've got some ideas on a product line. I just don't understand why the electricians don't understand smart home technology is their entire product line. That's something they've missed out on. Give me a message. I'll get you some more information. I put one together for another electrician, and so I'd love to share that with you as well because, well, I know you and I like you. All right, let's see here. What else we got here? What else we got here? You got another one? Go ahead. Who is it? Jost Bearden, my man Jost T. Bearden. Good to see you, brother, as always. What is his comment of the night? Is it keep your eye on the job? Keep your eye on one job at a time. All right, let's get this wheel back up here so we can do this giveaway. Let's do this. We'll give away the gift card. We'll give away a shirt and a gift card. Shirt and a gift card. And if Jody wins, then we will just give it away to somebody on the show tonight. So you guys are all rooting for Jody because then we will basically, I don't know what we're going to do. Oh, we're going to give it away to somebody that's watching right now. That's what we're going to do. All right. Let's do it. Let's get that wheel up there. I'm ready. Spin that baby. All right, here we go. Who's it going to be? Jody Enright. You can't make this stuff up. Now, Jody Enright is the owner of Skyboss. One of the owners of Skyboss. Jody and Larry Enright own Skyboss. They also are the founders of the Thin Brown Line. You guys need to go check that out, by the way, www.thethinbrownline.com. And that is plumbers, made by plumbers, for plumbers, clothing line. It's pretty tight stuff. So we're going to give that away to someone tonight. My boy Brian McDermott in the house tonight. Good to see you as well. Doc in the house, Doc Totten, good to see you. And she says, when will you have a store for us to shop at? New website being built out. So many new things that are coming. So much stuff happening over here. Hopefully new things are happening over there. I'll give you guys one business tip right now, just for everyone listening. I'm going to tell you something. When it comes to the home service game, when it comes to plumbing especially, but the home service game, you really have a day-to-day activity of making the phone ring and then converting the call. That's your day-to-day. And then find one thing you can do to improve your company one at a time and get really good at improving that one thing until you got it where you want it and then move on to the next thing. This business is a marathon. It is not a sprint. Eat this thing like an elephant, one bite at a time. Do not try to take it all on at once. You need to have day-to-day activities that you're constantly focused on, and then you need to have your overall big goal, your big ticket that you're going for. That's just something me and another gentleman were talking about earlier today, someone in my coaching program, specifically about his goals and where he's headed. And it's just something that got me thinking, I'm going to share that. I need that cup in my life. All right, I need that cup in my life. Josh, swing by. I think, Josh, you're local. You're local. Swing by. Swing by the studio. Swing by the offices. We're here all the time during the day. Get you a cup if you come by in person. Because these are big cups. They cost about $400 to ship out. Not really. Okay. All right. Let's do this thing. Who are we giving it to? So let's do comment of the night. I'll pick it. I got it right here. I saw one earlier I really liked. We're not doing comment of the night, actually. Ooh, I know what we'll do. Let's just do a little competition right now. Let's do a little competition. Let's keep this really important. Now, look, so this is for $25 Visa gift card right now, and it's for a shirt right now, and it's for that whoever wins this gets that, and they get into the next giveaway, which is $200. So that's only going to be 4 people in that giveaway, 4 or 5 people. So you'll be one of the finalists in that for a $200 gift card giveaway. You'll win $25 gift card right now. And then you'll also get you can do a fresh shirt. Yeah, we'll do a fresh shirt. All right, we'll do a fresh shirt. All right. Techs need to build a business in a business. Absolutely. Amen, brother. That's absolutely right. Technicians need to treat this thing like it's their business now, but they got to have the right environment to do that. That's what we're talking about tonight. In one aspect, at least, when it comes to scheduling quantity versus quality, allowing them to do a quality job in a quality environment and a quality culture, and the ability to do that as part of it is scheduling them just one call at a time. No more than 2 calls a day, maybe 3 depending on the circumstances and situation. I can assure you, though, if my guy missed on the first two, I'm going to pull him into my office. We're going to talk about those first two calls, find out what might have went wrong. If I see some humility and a little bit of the ability to turn it around, then we're going to send him out on that third call and go ahead and take it on home with a grand slam. But if I don't, if I see somebody that's blaming everything other than themselves, then I'm probably going to send them home for the day and let them get their attitude right. Because I can give them a third one, but they're just going to, don't give pearls to pigs kind of thing. It's the old scripture adage. And so it's this idea of don't waste it. It's pointless, right? If you're the technician, you don't really care either, to be honest with you. You want to go home on a day like that, so you might as well. All right, better off for the customer. No point, I don't want. You ever been somewhere where someone's about to get off work and they're like, "Hello." You're like, "Oh my goodness, what did I do to ruin your day?" Type dominate in the comments right now if you guys want to get some coaching, training, information about coaching for your business, as a technician, whatever level you're at. We got something for you. And a lot of times, what people don't really understand is our program is we have no cancellation fees. We have no subscriptions, or what do you call them? I guess contracts. We don't do that. And also, we do that first month is 100% money back guarantee, no questions asked. So that's how we roll over here because we believe in what we do. And I'd rather you try it out than to sit there and be scared and concerned and like, I don't know, is this going to help me? Is it going to help me? Yeah, it's going to help you. Type dominate in the comments and try me on that one. All right, so here's how this works. Ultimately, we're going to give this giveaway away right now, and we typically focus on something really important, specifically as it relates to service, or maybe something we talked about on the show. The last show we talked about what we talked about. We talked about you just quit on your family. We talked about the idea of running every call like it's your last call. We alluded to the idea of running less calls during the day, so you're not running 5 and 6 o'clock calls all the time, and it's your third call and fourth call, and you just really need to get back home, but this kind of, the two go back. If you missed that last show, go back. Next week, we got a couple shows coming up that go together. We try to make this all make sense. So as it relates to all of that, right? As it relates to kind of all of that. In the movie, The Founder, Ray Kroc says that the McDonald's brothers, they think that they figured it out with the Speedy system. They made all this money. But Ray Kroc at the very end of that movie says, nope, it was this one thing that made you famous. Can you guys tell me what that one thing was? For a $25 Visa gift card and a shirt and an entry into the $200 gift card giveaway, can you tell me what that one thing was? They all thought it was the Speedy system. I thought it was the Speedy system. And Ray says, nope, it was this. And then they said, whatever they said. And then I can't tell you because I kind of give it away. In fact, the very end of the movie, he literally takes the one thing from them. Like, my whole company credo is quality and integrity. Jeff, I like you already. That's what it's got to be about. The shake maker. That's funny. At the beginning of that movie, he starts out and he's like, if you increase the supply, the demand will follow. That's one of my favorite lines. So salesy. The Arches. Absolutely not. Famous for knowing fresh. That was not the answer. Quality. That's not the answer. He says it was this one thing. Come on, guys. It's so interesting. And he takes it from him. They say, well, you can't take that from us. He says, I already have. And then he does. And so then he does. Been at work all day from 8 a.m. and going to a call now. All right, Doc, we got to get you out of that. That's not the way. That is not the way. You deserve better. Your family deserves better. That's not the way. But we can fix that. We really can fix that. It's about running the calls the right way. You got to work hard. It's not about working less or taking it easy, but it is about working smarter. Smarter, not harder. We can definitely show you how to do that. He says their name, Randall Gilmore says he said, listen, they're in the bathroom and he looks at one of the brothers and they said, well, you have everything. He said, no, don't you think other people came through there and saw what you were doing? I mean, I couldn't have been the only person you gave a tour of the building. You guys were open book. You told me everything on the first night. You had to have told others, and other people had to have gone off and tried to have stole it and duplicated. He says, but they didn't have your name. He's right. 100% their name is the answer. Matt says the process. Brian McDermott says consistency. See, it's the name. Sometimes people misunderstand the importance of a good name. People misunderstand the importance of a good brand. People misunderstand the importance of a good system because it all went together. The name alone wouldn't have been enough, But the system with that name together was the perfect combination. It's just a little fun fact from the old McDonald's story and how they got so big and famous. You know, a lot of us go, well, that's more of a quantity success story. You're right. It is a quantity success story. And that's a way to go. But it ain't the plumbing way to go. All right, guys. I love you. Remember, hey, congratulations, by the way. Who won? Randall Gilmore. Congratulations. $25 Visa gift card, a shirt, and an entry into the other drawing. We're laughing because, well, we got a lot of reasons. 7.5 reasons I can think of to laugh right now. $1,000 days, $1,000 days in my pocket. Yeah, brother, we should really should be running $1,000 tickets. Typically, I would expect a plumber would do in an 8 to 5 shift. 7:30 to 4, roughly 7:30 4:30. Should be doing $1,000 to $2,000 a day revenue. Actually, $1,500 to $2,000 a day revenue. Like clockwork, sometimes even more, but that's just the average. And that would be what we see. That's not just what I think. That's what we see everybody, a lot of, I'm going to say everybody in the program. And I say this all the time too. I'm just a book. You can read a book, you can buy a book, you can stick a book on a shelf, but if you don't apply what you learned in that book, it's kind of pointless. So I'm just the book. But a lot of these guys deserve the credit because they took the time to buy it. The book or their owners bought the book and they applied the information, and it's not a book. We teach it in actual video format, live format, and all kinds of different ways. But you get the point here, the analogy. The idea is that they got the information, they applied it, and they went out and their customers are really happy. They're getting 5-star reviews. They're getting all kinds of, literally making more money, whether it be the owner or the technician, because they're either in a commission program or something like that, or a piece rate or whatever it is. And now they're selling more hours, they're selling more revenue. And the customers are happy because they're getting better deals because they're value stacking these offers in a way where the customer can win and where the company can win and where the technician can win. And that's what we teach people how to do. He says, I'm donating it. Love it. All right. Roto-Rooter, baby. Doc Totten says Roto-Rooter. And he says easy. I'm not sure if he's saying easy on the idea of working less hours or if he's saying easy money or what he's saying there. But yeah, I mean, look, there's just a lot of people that I've worked with. I've seen a lot of guys run 5-6 calls a day, and it just doesn't have, there's nothing for that. Now, I also don't know where you're at, Doc. You might only be 6:30 if you're out on the West Coast right now. All right, guys, look, we're going to go. I love you. Remember, as always, serve your communities and everything, not just plumbing. Have a great night.